A meeting of the Supreme Eurasian Economic Council was held in Yerevan on Tuesday. Armenian Prime Minister Nikol Pashinyan held bilateral meetings ahead of the session with Iran's President Hassan Rouhani, Moldovan President Igor Dodon, and Kazakh President Kassym-Jomart Tokayev. Later, the narrow meeting was attended by the leaders of the Eurasian Economic Union member states: Armenian Prime Minister Nikol Pashinyan, Russian President Vladimir Putin, Belarus President Alexander Lukashenko, Kazakh President Kassym-Jomart Tokayev, Kyrgyz President Sooronbay Jeenbekov, as well as Dikran Sargsyan, chair of the Eurasian Economic Council Board. An expanded meeting was attended by Igor Dodon in connection with the status of Moldova as an observer state at the Eurasian Economic Union, as well as Iran's President Hassan Rouhani and Singaporean Prime Minister Lee Hsien Loong as invited heads of state. During the meeting, the Armenian Prime Minister noted that Armenia makes a feasible contribution to the development of the Eurasian Union and attaches particular importance to expanding the geographical scope of foreign relations. The Russian President, in his statement, noted that the Eurasian Economic Union is expanding the geographical scope of cooperation and is in talks with 13 countries. He also announced the imminent start of talks on the creation of a free trade zone between the Eurasian Economic Union and India. Iranian president, in his turn, touched upon relations with the United States. According to him, the international community must counteract the hostile and unilateral approaches of the United States. As part of the High Council meeting in Yerevan, a free trade deal has been signed, as well as a framework agreement on comprehensive economic cooperation between the Eurasian Economic Union and Singapore. Meanwhile, a rally was held Tuesday against holding the Eurasian Economic Union summit and the arrival of Russian President Vladimir Putin in the country, and it was initiated by the unregistered European Party of Armenia, which advocates the country's entry into NATO. Also, a demonstration launched by Veto Movement and against cooperation between the Open Society Foundations, whose founder is George Soros, and Armenia was staged on the same day outside the Madena Taran Museum in Yerevan. In a statement issued by its initiators, there is a call for active cooperation with NGOs concerned and their partners in the Eurasian Economic Union member states in exposing foreign agency networks and preventing their anti-state activities. Another demonstration was held outside the Russian embassy and in support of the Eurasian integration of Armenia and the visit of Russian President Vladimir Putin. Its organizers were the Communist Party of Armenia, the Social Justice Party of Armenia, and the United Progressive Communist Party of Armenia. The Armenian Criminal Court of Appeal has decided not to consider the appeal by second President Robert Kocharyan's legal defendants against the decision to not commute his pretrial measure of custody, arguing that this decision is not subject to appeal, the Judicial Information System reported. According to the Criminal Court of Appeal, under the Criminal Procedure Code, in cases where an appellate appeal is brought against a judicial act that is not subject to appeal by the decision of the appellate court, such an appeal is not considered. U.S. Congressional Armenian Caucus co-chair Frank Pallone arrived in Artsakh Tuesday morning, where he will be meeting with government officials to explore opportunities to strengthen U.S.-Artsakh relations, review U.S.-funded humanitarian projects, and explore new ways the U.S. can help strengthen the fledgling democracy. 3 people have been killed and 5 injured as a result of a road accident in Crimea on Tuesday, a regional Interior Ministry press release said. A foreign car was involved in the incident, and a source in the regional law enforcement agencies told TASS that the case has been registered in the Armenian territory. 1 year ago on this day, the world lost the great French Armenian singer, composer, poet, and actor Charles Aznavour. Last year, people carried flowers to Charles Aznavour Square in Yerevan, cried and sang through tears. Today, we recall him with light sadness. We sang and we will sing with love, with a big and beautiful love for the maestro.